So you need to be doing other things in your business, but you need to have a plan of attack on how to do that. The 10 biggest mistakes that every product-based business is making. Which one are you making for your business? What's going on, guys? My name is Carrie Fitzgerald, and I am a product-based and e-commerce business coach, strategist, mentor, and your BFF. Let's dive into it. We're gonna go through 10 of the biggest mistakes that I see people making over and over and over, and it's preventing your business from growing, and it's preventing you from making more money and profit in your business. Okay, so number one, relying entirely on Instagram or TikTok to get visibility or traffic for your business. This is a huge no-no, and I see so many of you doing this. Instagram and TikTok are one source of traffic for your business, but they shouldn't be your only strategy to get traffic and visibility. So when you're growing a business, you have to have other ways of marketing, getting in front of people, getting in front of new customers, and that kind of thing. So there's many, many, many ways to market your business and get visibility. Some of my favorite off the top of my head are affiliate marketing, customer loyalty programs, referral programs, email marketing, which we're going to talk about, creating blog content, and then understanding what your customers are searching for when they go to Google, when it relates to your product or brand, and then creating blog content that answers those questions. So those are just a few ways to get visibility in your business without solely relying on Instagram or TikTok. Number two, not focusing on growing your email list. This is a huge no-no. Email list means control in your business. You control your email list. So growing your email list is going to be one of the most important things you can do to get back control in your business. So a few easy ways to start growing your email list is to have a really great website pop up on your website and offer some kind of incentive, 10% off, 20% off your first order. Get some people to give you their email address. No one wants to join your newsletter. No one wants to join your boring email list without an incentive. People want the discount, especially if they haven't shopped from you before. So 10% off is a really solid way to start getting people to join your email list. And then create some kind of a welcome email that welcomes them to the brand, gives them the coupon code, talks about the brand, the story, your hero products, and go from there. So you should always be focusing on email list growth, because again, it puts control back in your business. And if you have an email list, you always have a way to sell to people. So not to mention just an ongoing sale, but when you're doing promotions, product launches, holiday season, really important time to have an email list. Number three, and this is kind of a controversial one because I'm an advocate of investing in your business and finding a mentor who can help you. But number three is always being in learning mode. You're always listening to podcasts, watching webinars, downloading free things, watching free trainings, joining different programs, buying courses, and you're not taking time to implement anything. You're just learning. And when you're in a constant learning mode, you're not putting things into action. You're not implementing things. So there's a balance with learning and implementing. And I do think you should always have a mentor that you can reach out to for questions and get support and get strategy in your business. My current business, 2022 was my year of learning. I was just always in programs and joining different things and on calls, and I was like, I'm actually not implementing anything I'm learning, and I'm wasting my time. So 2023 for me was a huge implementation year, and now in 2024 I'm back on this middle ground of learning and implementation. So just be aware if you find yourself always listening to podcasts, joining webinars, joining free trainings, joining programs, memberships, courses, but then you're not actually allocating time to implement the information you're learning, you're actually doing a disservice to yourself. So be aware of that, because that's kind of like the secret killer in a business. Okay, number four, another one that's maybe a little bit hard to hear, treating your business like a hobby and not a business. So when someone says, hey, what do you do? What is your response to people? Do you say, oh, I have a little business, or oh, I have a little side hustle? You downplay it. You don't take it seriously when you're telling other people. And I think that's a really challenging thing, because I know it can be really vulnerable to have a business. And I think when you tell people, oh, I started a new business, and you're very confident, they might say, oh, why? They might question your, motivation. Why do you want to have a business? Or like, oh, isn't that really hard? Or I don't know, like people are weird when you tell them that you're going to have a business. I think it's because regular people that don't have these same entrepreneurial motivations or ambitions, it's really hard for them to understand why we would want to do this. So you kind of downplay your business. Another way that you're treating your business like a hobby and not a business is when you're thinking of product ideas to do, when you're thinking of that kind of stuff, you're not really looking at your numbers. You're not looking at, okay, how much profit am I actually making in this business? If you're just doing the day-to-day, you're spending all day shipping products, you're making products, and you're not actually tracking expenses, you're not looking at the money coming in versus the money going out, and you're not making any profit, but you're not actually aware that you're not really making profit, this is an expensive hobby. I know you want it to not be a hobby, but if you're not making any profit and you're not really treating it like a proper business, going through your numbers, understanding your numbers, looking at your P&L each week in your QuickBooks, setting up a QuickBooks account, things like that, this is you treating your business more like a business. So you have to be aware of numbers, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more, but you have to be aware of that stuff, but also just the way you have your business set up. How do you think about your business? Do you even think it's a business, you know? And I would really encourage you to start treating it like a business and not a hobby, because you can do a hobby if that's you making stickers, or you want to make water bottles, or you want to learn how to knit, that's fine, but it doesn't have to be a business, you know? Number 5, not celebrating your wins. This is a really important one. Mindset is a really important part of business. It's not the whole thing, but it's a big part of your business. And if you're constantly on this hamster wheel of comparing yourself to other people, you're comparing your business to that person's business and they're doing so much better than you, and your business isn't doing well. And then when good things do happen to you, you don't take a moment to show gratitude, to say, thank you, universe, or wow, I did a really great job with that. You're kind of damaging your mindset. With my first business, the Dapper Dog Box, which was my pet subscription box business and e-commerce store, I had a really bad mindset. I had the mindset of no matter what happened in my business, when I made hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales per year, or when I got featured in articles like BuzzFeed or The Dodo, or all these really cool things that happened in that business, I never took the time to just stop, acknowledge, celebrate myself, and then move on to the next thing. It was always like the next goal, the next goal. I should have done that more. I should have done that faster. Or this business is doing better than me, you know? And it doesn't do you any favors. And I really want this one to sink in. It does not do you any favors to not celebrate your wins. Because if you're not gonna celebrate yourself when you hit your first $5,000 month or $10,000 month, or you get featured in your first blog post or news article or something, you're not gonna celebrate yourself when you double that or triple that. So the earlier you can get into a habit of appreciating the things that you're doing, acknowledging that you're doing something that's really, really hard, that there isn't a playbook for this kind of thing. You are figuring things out for yourself and you're doing a good job. And number 6, not looking at your numbers. So I've already reflected on this a little bit, but I wanna go a little bit deeper here. Not looking at your numbers is both analytics and financials, or both, okay? So you have to look at your financials, your profit and loss statement. So number 1, you should be using an accounting software. QuickBooks, I think it's like 20 bucks a month, okay? When you sign up for QuickBooks, you have a real business. If you're using Excel sheets and all that to track expenses, you're wasting your time, because every time you have to track an expense, put a number in an Excel sheet, yes, you could do it that way. But if you're not making enough money to cover a $20 a month expense, that's a different problem. And we want to look at your product, your margins, etc. QuickBooks is a non-negotiable. Sign up for QuickBooks right now. I'm not an affiliate, but it's a great software. I don't like accounting, but they make it kind of easy for you, and everything is in one place. And then each week, or at least once a month, you put something on your calendar and you look at your profit and loss statements. That tells you the money that's coming in versus the money that's coming out. What are your expenses? What are all the things you're paying for? And it just gives you a good indication of like, okay, I'm spending way too much money on this, or God, I'm spending so much money on products and there's not enough sales coming in. It makes you aware of the things that you're spending money on, because it's really easy to get lost in the day-to-day shuffle of buying inventory, shipping products out, buying packaging, you know, paying for this, paying for that, paying for this thing. You end up spending a lot of money on things that you might then not be aware that you shouldn't be spending money on. So profit and loss statements are really good overviews of what you should be looking at. I would say at least every single month, but if you're not used to that, I'd be looking at this every week and just get in the habit of looking at your bank account. I know it can be scary. I know, I was there, okay? I had my own product-based business, and it can be triggering because you know there's not a lot of money in there. And then you feel like a failure, but you're not a failure. We just need to work on how you can increase your revenue, your traffic, your profit, etc. So don't be afraid of numbers. Embrace them, because it gives you power in knowing what's happening in your business. Okay, and then the other part of your numbers are your analytics. So these are going to be things like if you have a Shopify store, looking at your Shopify dashboard. I mean, I'd be looking at this every single day, to be honest with you. What's the traffic situation? What's my return customer rate? How much sales am I getting? What's my cart abandonment rate? You need to know this information. Off the back of your head, you need to know this information. And you also, things like Google Analytics. You need to be looking through the numbers. But if you're not used to looking at this, the biggest thing I want to look at is your traffic and your conversion rate. So traffic and conversion rate are two of the most important metrics you need to understand in your business. Because if you're wondering, why am I not getting more sales? It's likely going to be one of two things: a traffic problem or a conversion problem. A traffic problem are people going to your website. You're not getting enough of them. The conversion problem is you're getting people to your website, but they're not converting into sales. So you need to understand the difference between the two, and you need to understand what you need to do about it to fix it. So not looking at numbers is just hurting you. So you need to get in the habit of looking at some of those numbers. Okay, number 7, and this is a really fun one, not having an exit strategy. So many of you have no idea that you can actually sell your business. I sold my first business, the Dapper Dog Box, back in 2019. I had the business for almost 3 years. I grew it, and I was ready to do something else, and I sold it. Again, when we talk about this notion of treating your business like a business and not a hobby, having an exit plan, strategy, idea is something that makes your business a business, not a hobby. People don't sell hobbies, but they can sell a business. So it doesn't mean you have to sell your business today. It doesn't mean you have to sell your business tomorrow. But knowing that you can sell your business, you will do things differently in your business. You will run your business differently. Because when you go to sell your business, they care about mainly one thing and one thing only: your profit. That's it. So if you don't make any profit, you don't have a business to sell. So the earlier you can understand, okay, if I want to sell my business someday and make, 2 to 3x, so 2 to 3 times my yearly profit is what someone would pay for it. And some people pay more, some people pay less. But if you're making, let's say, $10,000 a year in profit, you could possibly sell your business for about 30 grand. Okay. So if you know that you might want to sell your business in 2 years, you can really work on creating a strategy to get more profit in your business, and you will run a leaner ship if you do that. Okay. So just knowing that you can sell your business someday, someone will pay for it. I've seen people sell businesses that they actually weren't making much profit at all, but someone else saw what they did. They liked the packaging, the branding, the vibe, the product they were offering, and they bought the business from them because they saw an opportunity and they knew that they could do something different than that person did to grow the business. So have an exit plan or vision or strategy in your head. And when you know, okay, I kind of want to do something else, which is fine. You shouldn't be married to your business. It's a business. It's not a person. Then you can start coming up with a strategy to sell your business. Okay. Number 8 is a really important one. And I think it probably should have been the first on the list, but this is in no individual order. It's in no particular order. Not having a strategy or plan of attack in your business. So I know so many of you wake up in the morning and you say, well, what do I do today? What do I work on? I guess I'll just send out orders. I guess I'll pack orders. You are doing a lot of the tasks that are not the needle movers in your business. You are not operating a business with any kind of plan or strategy, which means you don't really know what to work on to move the needle. You don't really know what the big picture things you should be working on or you should be implementing over time. Maybe it's every quarter to grow your business. You don't really know what marketing channels you should be doing. So you wake up and you say, well, I guess I'll post an Instagram today, or gee, I guess I should probably send out an email. You need to have this stuff mapped out. You need to know what are the drivers in your business, what are the things you want to, like what products you want to focus on, what are your product launches, and all the other things that go into running a product-based business. But the biggest thing is marketing. You have to have a solid marketing plan. And so the first thing on the list was, I said, relying entirely on Instagram or TikTok for traffic and visibility. So you need to be doing other things in your business, but you need to have a plan of attack on how to do that. So I'm going to create another video that's going to talk about how to create a strategy in your business, because I think this is a huge thing that's missing in a lot of your businesses. And just having some kind of place to map out your goals and then work backwards. So if you know, okay, I want to make $100,000 in my business in 2024, you know, okay, well, if I want to make $100,000 in my business, I need to be able to get this much traffic, or I need to be able to get this much conversion rate. And you kind of just work backwards. So having a strategy is really, really important. And I know a lot of you don't really know how to do that, because a lot of times too, it comes down to this whole concept of like, you don't know what you don't know. And that's why people like me are here to help you on YouTube and across other platforms. Okay, number 9, not understanding the importance of your website as a direct-to-consumer business. So some of you might be selling on Etsy, some of you might be selling on Amazon or selling wholesale. But if you have your own website, AKA on a Shopify platform, for example, you're not understanding the importance of that. So Etsy, you do not control. Amazon, you don't control. And there's so many things that can happen when you're putting all of your eggs into these marketplace baskets. I've talked to so many people who basically killed it on Etsy for years. They didn't even try. They just made so much money. Then all of a sudden Etsy changes an algorithm and like overnight sales are done. I've seen people whose Etsy accounts have been shut down for silly reasons, and Etsy will not help you. I've seen Amazon, again, same thing. Like you're making money, you're doing well, and then all of a sudden Amazon is like, hey, this brand is selling a lot of that product, so we're gonna actually create our own, and then we're gonna push that person out. So you can control marketplaces. You can control these third-party marketplaces, and if you're relying on that, you're putting your business at risk. If you have a Shopify store and a Shopify website, then you're putting control back in your own business because you control that. So you should be pushing your marketing and all that towards your own website, because again, when you go to sell your business, that's going to be a huge asset when someone's buying it, because you can sell on Etsy store. You cannot transfer ownership on an Etsy store. So again, when we talk about this whole concept of treating your business like a hobby and not a business, wanting to sell the business at some point, understand that if you have a direct-to-consumer website, that is very powerful for you. So just don't remember that. And also keep in mind that the website has to also look good as well. So if you are looking for someone to help you with a Shopify website, I offer a Shopify makeover done in a day service where I will take your website on Shopify and I will just make it look 1,000 times better so you get more conversion on your website. So you can check out my services below, and if you're interested, you can get yourself signed up. Okay, not finding the right mentors is number 10, and this is a really important one. So I talked about this whole concept of being in learning mode all the time, but at the same time, you need to have mentors. You need to have someone that you can ask questions to, but the biggest thing is finding a mentor who has already done the things that you want to do. I'm not talking about finding a mentor just because they have 100,000 followers on Instagram. Who gives a shit, okay? It needs to be someone who has already done the things that you want to do. So if you really want to grow an Etsy store, that's your goal, awesome. Find someone who has grown an Etsy store. If your main goal is starting a subscription box business, awesome. Find someone who has started a subscription box business. Don't join a membership program that helps service-based businesses. That doesn't help you. So find a mentor who has done the things that you want to do. And if they have not done the things that you want to do already, then don't work with them, okay? Case closed. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video and you learned something, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. A thumbs up. And be sure to let me know in the comments which one of these tips or mistakes rather are you making in your business, and which one are you ready to change? Which one are you ready to make a new goal for you in 2024? So as always, you can check out the notes below. I have some free downloads, free trainings, and I have a list of services that I offer for you. And I also have my podcast, the E-commerce Society podcast, which gives you all sorts of really fun episodes and more learning from me. All right, guys, I'll see you next week.